clear, evident, unmistakable. Some things are just obvious. In this lesson, we'll break down words that describe things that are easy to see or understand. With definitions, real-world examples, and images, let's explore the vocabulary of clarity. Lucid as adjective. Express clearly and easy to understand. Coherent and logical. Having a clear understanding. Mentally sound and rational. The scientist presented a lucid explanation of the complex theory, making it easy for the audience to understand. Despite his illness, the writer remained lucid and able to express his thoughts clearly and coherently. The bright, lucid colors of the painting seemed to glow on the canvas. The patient's lucid response to the doctor's questions indicated that he was fully aware and able to think clearly. The student's lucid essay demonstrated a clear understanding of the subject matter and a well-organized thought process. Plain as verb. To express or state clearly and unequivocally. To make something evident or obvious. To make plain or smooth. To level or flatten. To remove irregularities or roughness. They used a sander to plane the rough edges of the wooden table. The workers planed the road to ensure a smooth surface for vehicles. The architect planed the surface of the wood before applying the finish. He tried to plane his intentions to the committee, but they remained skeptical. She planed her dissatisfaction with the decision during the meeting. Plain as adverb. Clearly, without ambiguity or embellishment, in a straightforward or simple manner. Completely, entirely, used to emphasize the simplicity or lack of ornamentation. She lived plain, with minimal possessions and a focus on the essentials of life. The problem was plain evident to all who witnessed the situation unfold. He told me plain that he didn't want to go, and I respected his honesty. She spoke plain, without mincing words, and everyone understood her message. The instructions were written plain, making it easy for even beginners to follow. Observable as adjective. Capable of being observed, perceived, or noticed. Able to be seen, heard, or otherwise detected by the senses. Evident, apparent, or manifest. Able to be recognized or understood through observation. The effects of climate change are becoming increasingly observable in the form of rising temperatures and extreme weather events. The teacher used a microscope to make the tiny organisms observable to her students. The scientist conducted experiments to study the observable behavior of subatomic particles. Her mood was observable from the way she carried herself, with slumped shoulders and a furrowed brow. The changes in his behavior were readily observable to those who knew him well, indicating underlying distress. Transparent as adjective. Allowing light to pass through so that objects behind can be distinctly seen. Easily perceived or understood. Clear, open, or honest. The artist's intentions were transparent in his abstract paintings, conveying emotion and meaning with clarity. The government promised transparent governance, with regular updates on its decision-making processes. The company's financial statements are transparent, providing stakeholders with a clear picture of its financial health. The window panes in the house were made of transparent glass, offering a clear view of the garden outside. The water in the lake was so transparent that you could see the fish swimming beneath the surface. Manifest as adjective. Clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Evident or apparent in form or structure. Her frustration was manifest in the way she clenched her fists. The symptoms of the illness were manifest and easily recognizable. His talent for storytelling was manifest in the captivating narrative of his novel. There was a manifest lack of interest among the students during the lecture. The ship's cargo was listed on the manifest for customs inspection. Blatant as adjective. Obvious and intentional, not subtle or concealed. Showing or characterized by a lack of restraint or subtlety. The politicians' blatant lies were exposed by the media. The company's blatant disregard for safety regulations led to a major accident. The athlete's blatant cheating during the game was caught on camera. The actor's blatant disrespect towards the director caused tension on the set. The student's blatant plagiarism in his paper resulted in a failing grade. Salient as adjective. Most noticeable or important, prominent, relevant or pertinent. The company's salient objective is to increase market share through innovation. The report highlighted the salient points for easy reference. The speaker made several salient arguments that persuaded the audience. The salient feature of the painting was its vivid use of color. In his essay, he discussed the salient aspects of the political situation. Clear as verb. To make something free of obstructions or impurities. To remove obstacles or unwanted substances from. To understand or perceive something distinctly. To gain clarity or comprehension. The doctor prescribed medication to clear up the patient's sinus infection. The fog lifted, and the view of the mountains became clear in the distance. She cleared the table after dinner, removing dishes and wiping down surfaces. The workers cleared the debris from the road to allow traffic to pass through. He cleared his throat before beginning his speech to ensure he had the audience's attention. Ostentatious as adjective, displaying wealth, status, or achievements in an excessive or flashy way. Gaudy. Showy or pretentious in an attempt to impress others. Flamboyant or over the top. The ostentatious mansion was a symbol of the owner's wealth. The politician's ostentatious display of power was seen as arrogant. His ostentatious lifestyle was seen as excessive and wasteful. The celebrity's ostentatious outfit drew attention on the red carpet. The company's ostentatious marketing campaign was criticized for being insensitive. Apparent as adjective. Appearing as such, but not necessarily so. Seeming. Clearly visible or understood. Obvious. It was apparent from her expression that she was upset about something. His apparent lack of interest in the project was concerning to his colleagues. The evidence against the suspect was so apparent that he had no choice but to confess. The apparent simplicity of the design belied its complexity. The company's apparent success masked the financial troubles that were brewing behind the scenes. Delineate as verb. To describe, sketch, or depict in clear, precise detail. To outline or trace the limits or boundaries of something. The map delineates the boundaries of the city. The lawyer delineated the terms of the contract to her client. The scientist delineated the stages of the experiment in her report. The writer delineated the character's motivations in great detail. The artist delineated the contours of the model's face in her sketch. Palpable as adjective. Capable of being touched, felt, or perceived through the senses. Tangible or physically noticeable. Able to be physically touched or handled. Easily perceived or understood. Obvious, evident, or unmistakable. Able to be perceived or recognized without difficulty. There was a palpable sense of excitement in the air as the concert began. The joy on her face was palpable when she received the news of her promotion. The tension in the room was palpable as the two rivals faced each other. The fear among the villagers was palpable as they awaited the arrival of the approaching storm. The disappointment in his voice was palpable when he didn't get the job he had applied for. Clear is noun, a clear or unobstructed space or area. The clear quality or condition of being free from obstruction or interference. The painter sought to capture the clear of the sky as the sun set over the horizon. The architect designed the building with large windows to maximize natural light and provide a clear of the outdoors. The diver checked the clear before descending into the underwater cave. After the storm, they emerged from the shelter to find a clear in the clouds and a rainbow in the sky. The hiker found a clear in the dense forest, providing a view of the surrounding landscape. Conspicuous as adjective. Clearly visible to the eye, attention-grabbing. Easily noticeable or visible due to its striking or outstanding appearance or characteristics. The celebrity's conspicuous behavior drew attention from the paparazzi. The large, conspicuous sign made it easy for visitors to find the entrance to the building. The company's conspicuous absence at the industry conference was noted by attendees. The politician's conspicuous absence from the public eye raised questions about his health. The painting's conspicuous use of bold colors made it stand out in the gallery. Candor is noun. The quality of being free from prejudice, bias, or deception, fairness or impartiality. The quality of being open, honest, and sincere in speech or expression, frankness or openness. His candor in admitting his mistakes earned him the respect of his colleagues. She appreciated her friend's candor in giving feedback on her work. The team valued the manager's candor in addressing issues openly and directly. The book was praised for its candor in discussing difficult and controversial topics. The interviewer was impressed by the candidate's candor during the job interview. Plain as adjective. Clear, evident, easily understood, lacking complexity or adornment. Simple, unadorned, lacking embellishment or decoration, not fancy or elaborate. His writing style is plain and direct, making complex topics accessible to a broad audience. The house had a plain exterior, but was elegantly furnished inside. She wore a plain dress, devoid of any ornamentation or frills. Despite its plain appearance, the painting conveyed profound emotion and depth. The meal was simple and plain, consisting of bread, cheese, and fruit. Evident as adjective. Clear, plain, and obvious to see or understand. Easily recognized or perceived by the senses or the mind. The damage to the car was evident. The sadness in her eyes was evident to everyone in the room. The evidence against the suspect was evident and overwhelming. The success of the project was evident in the positive feedback received. It was evident that she had put a lot of effort into her presentation. Salient as verb. To leap or spring forward. To project or protrude. To jut out. The deer salient gracefully over the fence, disappearing into the woods. The mountain range salient against the horizon, visible from miles away. The new building salient out from the row of houses, drawing attention to itself. The soldier salient over the wall to reach safety. The ship's prow salient through the fog as it approached the harbor. Undeniable as adjective. Beyond doubt or question. Unquestionable. unable to be denied or disputed, clearly true or obvious. The impact of climate change on the environment is undeniable. There was undeniable evidence linking the suspect to the crime scene. His talent as a musician was undeniable, captivating audiences with each performance. The company's success over the years was undeniable, evident from its steady growth. Despite their differences, there was an undeniable chemistry between them. Discern as verb, to have an understanding or knowledge of something, to recognize or distinguish the difference between two or more things. It takes time to discern whether a new product will be successful or not. With her sharp eyes, she could discern the smallest details in the painting. It was difficult to discern what the speaker was saying over the loud music. He was able to discern that something was wrong just by looking at her face. I couldn't discern any pattern in the data without further analysis. Manifest as verb, to display or show a quality, feeling, or behavior, clearly, to make evident or obvious. The tension between them manifested in frequent arguments and disagreements. Her talent for painting manifested early in childhood, as she displayed a natural ability with colors and forms. The success of the project manifested in increased revenue for the company. The symptoms manifested themselves gradually, starting with a mild cough and progressing to a high fever. His actions manifested his commitment to environmental conservation. Noticeable as adjective, capable of being readily observed or perceived, easily noticeable or detectable by the senses, having a significant or conspicuous effect, causing a noticeable change or difference. There was a noticeable drop in temperature as the sun began to set. The smell of freshly baked bread was noticeable as soon as you entered the bakery. The new paint color made a noticeable difference in the appearance of the room. There was a noticeable improvement in her performance after she started getting more sleep. His absence from the meeting was noticeable, as he was usually the most vocal participant. Clear as adjective, easy to perceive, understand, or interpret, evident or obvious. Free from cloudiness, haziness, or obstruction, transparent or easily seen through. The water in the mountain stream was so clear that you could see the fish swimming beneath the surface. The police issued a clear warning to the protesters to disperse or face arrest. The instructions were clear and concise, leaving no room for confusion. Her voice came through the phone line loud and clear, despite the distance. He gave a clear explanation of the process, making it easy for everyone to understand. Clear as adverb, completely, entirely, without doubt or ambiguity, in a clear manner, distinctly or without obstruction. The signal came through clear, allowing for uninterrupted communication. She spoke clear and confidently, capturing the attention of the audience. He answered the question clear and succinctly, leaving no room for confusion. The instructions were written clear, making them easy to follow. The path ahead was laid out clear, with no obstacles in sight. Flagrant as adjective, extremely or shockingly evident, typically in the context of wrongdoing, misconduct, or disregard for norms or standards. Glaringly obvious, blatant, or conspicuous, often in a negative or offensive manner. The politician's flagrant abuse of power sparked outrage among constituents and calls for accountability. She was appalled by the flagrant display of wealth and excess at the extravagant party. The referee issued a red card for the player's flagrant foul, which resulted in his expulsion from the game. The employee's flagrant dishonesty and unethical behavior resulted in termination from the company. The company's flagrant disregard for environmental regulations led to widespread pollution and public outcry. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.